Hello guys, welcome back to another Stevetheskull video. In today's video we're going to be looking at the 1.13 update of Longvinter. There's a lot to go through, so let's get straight into it. The first main feature of this update would be the spring biome. This is taking over the existing islands of Kolka and Hitina. In this biome a new flower can be found called the fireweed, which is a pink flower. The biome also brings all existing mushrooms from the caves up to the surface. This biome lastly brings a new grass and new birch tree design. The next major feature of this update would be the new buildings. There's three new building types which include watermills, shops and mining rigs. The LRI station more houses upgrade is required, and all of these buildings are raidable. They all have a resource requirement to create, which I'll show here. Now let's talk about what they do. The watermill generates power and also has a storage capacity. The storefront is a building version of the vending machine with an LRI station inside. And lastly, the mining rig extracts ore from the ground. The ores vary on the biome. Alongside the bigger buildings, some newer, smaller placeables have been added in this update. But to understand how they work, I need to first talk about the battery overhaul. The battery now has a charge percentage and needs to be charged at a charging station. So, the first placeable is the battery charging station, which allows for charging of batteries and requires 80 power to do so. Each battery takes 100 minutes to charge. The next placeable is the battery backup station, which, if charged batteries are left inside, when the power goes out on your house, it will power the building. And lastly is the mini turret, which is a turret that can be placed anywhere and runs on a battery, but is much weaker. Another great feature of this update is how they've improved upon the customization aspect. They've added 7 different colors of paint alongside a painting station. The paints can be crafted or found all over the map, as well as the painting station. Once the paint is acquired, head to the painting station and put the color of choice alongside the item of choice to paint it. This works on a massive variety of items, but I'm showing off the colors of paint on these crates. Another form of customization which you can participate in, which has been expanded upon in this update, is character design. This update has added a wide array of hats, shirts, skirts, and more. These can be brought directly from the store or found in the new spring loot box. With the release of this update coincides an Easter event where one item of the bunny set can be collected for playing the game. Talking of hats, there's been 2 new added into the game with special perks. The first one of these being the Hunter's Hat. This can be brought after completing the trophies from the man at Parva. This gives the player a 50% less weapon spread. The next hat would be the Chef's Hat, which can be brought after completing the cooking recipes from the man at Skaban. This gives the player 50% faster cooking speeds. Now we are moving on to the new features that don't really fit into a theme. Let's start with the leaderboard. This can be found at most docks and displays the score of the max player in the event. The next new feature is the Prestige Reset button, which completely resets your server progress and allows you access to an extra building. This will stay with the player even after a server wipe. The next new feature would be the Wandering Trader. He's a mustached man dressed in a reddy brown coat. He goes around the map collecting items, plants, and trophies and sells them when he's sat down at the dock. He can be killed for his items, but he does fight back with a gun. The next new feature is new quests. Coinciding with the new update, there's plenty of new quests related to the new items, giving out unique and useful rewards. The next new feature is treasure maps. They seem to be really rare since I wasn't able to find one, but from the trailer it looks like you click on the treasure map and it shows you a location. If you go to that location, you get a high quality loot chest. The last new feature is weapon attachments. There's been 4 different ones added in this update with unique perks. They're attached to the workbench and can be found in boxes across the map. The first one is the heavy barrel, which makes bullets faster with decreased damage fall off, but the downside is increased spread. The next is the muzzle brake, which increases the accuracy of a weapon, but the downside is reduced damage. The next is the advanced receiver, which increases the fire rate of a weapon, but the downside is reduced accuracy. Lastly is the laser sight, which gives your gun a red beam, making it easier to line up shots. This last section is dedicated to some quality of life changes and minor changes. Firstly, new animations for both swimming and using hatchets. New increased throwing speed and projectile speed on grenades. There's a new turret model. New fishing spots added around the lighthouse. Melee damage has been increased by double. Ingot payouts have been increased by double. New option in the settings for Q camera toggle. An improved electrical panel in the house where you can check your usage and what's producing power. And finally, a limit on selling ammo, saunas, and greenhouses to reduce item duplication. I somehow always forget to add something, but there's also a feature that if you eat too much of the same food, you'll get an effect that decreases the amount of energy you get from that food by 20%, and then if you keep eating, it will go up by 10% each time. That's the end of the video. Hope you found it useful. Please consider a like, subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.